Hello, everyone. Oh, I know. They're saying hello too. So the finches are saying hello. And I just wanted to do a quick little vlog. And I haven't officially started the vlog channel. And you know what? That's okay. We'll start it officially at another time. But today is a very exciting day because Darling is coming home, also known as Chips. I'm trying to transition away from calling him Darling and into Chips. And we'd use his real name and he'd show up on the vlogs, except that he's a professor, and so we try to keep it like a little professional, especially as our community grows. But who knows, maybe he'll show up in vlogs in the future, especially if we start traveling to China. But I am totally getting off topic because today we're having much more homely adventures and he is coming home and it's going to be, let's see, it's 8:30 in the morning right now. So in about 2 hours is when he thinks he's going to get in. His plane lands at about 9 and then he takes a bus from the airport back to our house and I'm so excited. I woke up early before the sun rose because I was so excited. And when I went to bed last night, I was too excited to really sleep. And I've done fine on my own. I've had a great time. You guys know we've hit 50,000 subscribers. We've had some awesome adventures. It's been fine the week that he's been gone, but I think it's a really good sign that you love someone so much that we've been together almost 3 years now. I think it's been 3 years. It goes by so fast. And you're just thrilled to have them home. And I spent forever picking out, like I'm wearing one of my favorite dresses that I usually only wear for weddings. So, just picking out the things. I made cookies. There's vegan cookies, a pile of chocolate chip vegan cookies that I made as a celebration for my upcoming birthday and 50,000 subscribers. And I figured I'd just make them now. I'm probably not going to have any cake or anything for my birthday, but I'm digressing again because I'm so excited. But yeah, today's a big day because he's coming home. I have brought in some of the outdoor plants because the hyacinths smell amazing right now. They just fill up this beautiful fragrance of spring into the entire area. So I'm hoping that they'll release their beautiful fragrance into the home. So he walks through the door and it's all clean because I've cleaned it. And oh gosh, that makes it sound like we're a traditional, like conservative sort of family, and we're totally not. We both will clean, like deep clean. He actually cooks and he does the dishes more. I'm one of those people where I'm like, oh boy, I'm recording. And then I go back and I'm like, oh, the dishes, when did this happen? And he'll have like just done it. Oh, I'm babbling because I'm excited. But today is going to be a big day because he's coming home and I really hope the flowers look nice on the table and just fill up the room with a beautiful smell. And I made the bed and I cleaned, and to me those are just things that you can really look into doing when you just love somebody. Like, it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter if it's a sibling. These are things, honestly, that my dad would do. If you guys are familiar with the concept of love languages, my dad was totally a service love language guy. You would come home from school and he will have cleaned your room and he will have left like a little sweet note or like freshly, like he would have done all your laundry and folded all your clothes, and there would be like a note or a treat that he would have found for you. Like, he'd go to the gas station, just pick you up like a little candy bar and leave it on your pillow. And that was my dad, and still is my dad to this day. And I learned what I consider my truest love language. It's acts of service is what it's called. And I know that sounds weird, but I really highly recommend reading the love language book, because some people, like my aunt, is love language of gifts, and gifts don't really, they mean something to me, but that's not how like someone tells me that they love me. That's like spending quality time with me or through doing things together, acts of service or helping me out. And for my aunt, acts of service are okay, but gifts are way up there for her. Somebody giving her a gift, even if it's just a little thing, it shows her that they love her. And so that really helps, like love languages. And my love language is totally acts of service. So I cleaned, made cookies, I made the bed because he's going to come home totally exhausted because he had like 4 hours of sleep last night. So he can go straight in and go lay down. I made sure that we have his almond milk and his cereal that he loves so much. Stocked in the kitchen. There's like delicious, they smell delicious. There's beautiful flowers here just to try to make the atmosphere nice. He's gonna come home from a week of traveling and it's just going to be relaxing. And I feel like anybody, if you care about somebody, anybody, no matter what your relationship is with them, I would do the same thing if it was my siblings, but I probably wouldn't be bouncing off the wall quite like, oh, Twitter-pated excited, although I do love my siblings, but oh man. So yeah, so that's my babble for this morning. He will be hopefully home in 2 hours. I haven't even been able to sit down and record zoo crafting yet because I'm so excited. I went to sleep early. I normally, if I haven't recorded zoo crafting by like 8 or 9 p.m., I'll make myself do it so that it'll be on time. And I couldn't focus last night. I went to bed. I couldn't read books. I could hardly write in my joy journal. I could hardly focus on anything. And I just drank my melatonin drink I take every night, and then like curled up in a cocoon on the bed and was like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, because it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas coming. You just have to like ease yourself into sleep. And I was like, the sooner I fall asleep, the sooner he'll be here. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be here. Okay, I'm starting to get really excited again. But the other thing I wanted to mention today is I'm donating my car. So today is actually the day where I'm going to hand over these keys and donate my car, which is kind of, I'm glad I found the title. You have to have the title to donate your car. And that's kind of a big deal, but I just wanted to mention it because it's kind of a big deal to just take a functional vehicle. It's an old Century 2000 Buick, but it works. My dad's a mechanic, so he's been able to, when I live near him at least, kind of peek in on it, make sure it functions pretty well. It has some quirks, you know, driver's side window won't go down because the motor died, so it had to be fixed up. You can never tell how much fuel you have left anymore because there's just like a $15 fuel sensor that you have to get inside. It costs like $200 to get into the interior of the engine space and change the sensor out, but it'd just be like a $15 fix that I just wasn't able to afford. And I just kept it topped off and I never worried. But yeah, there's little quirks, but I'm going to donate my car because we already have Chips's vehicle, and he keeps his vehicle much more maintained than I do because he's regular like clockwork, and I tend to forget it because I was so used to my dad helping me out. And yeah, we already have one vehicle, and ironically, a lot of the apartment complexes that we're looking into, a lot of the home areas that we're looking into have space for one car, and then you have to like find where your second car gets to live, and it's not going to be on the apartment parking lot. And our apartment parking lot, they don't care because they don't do spaces like that. But we're getting ready to move across country, and it's going to be Wisconsin, or it's going to be Pennsylvania, or it's going to be Michigan. We live in North Carolina right now, and we're going to have to take his car and a U-Haul up to one of those places in August, like July or August. And the more we talked about it, and the more I thought about how quirky my car is, and the fact that we only drive maybe twice a week max. We both work from home, so even when he works on campus, he'll probably only be going in like 3 or 4 times a week. It just made sense to not carry the property taxes, and I know that sounds kind of boring, but just bear with me for a second. It just made sense not to have those things on my shoulders anymore. And it's really scary. I'm going to be honest, you guys. As an adult, getting wheels under me changed my life. And it was, unfortunately, my uncle passed away really suddenly. It was really sad a few years ago. I'm tearing up just thinking about it because he was an amazing man. But, and that's kind of why I want to tell the story of donating my car, because it's connected to that. And my uncle passed away, and they didn't need his vehicle anymore, and my family at the time, we were barely making ends meet. You know, we rarely had the heat on in the house, rarely had the gas to make hot water. I mean, I think almost like half of my high school career, we didn't have hot water, so we would just bathe in cold water in the mornings, and oh man, and on the really cold days in Missouri, that was miserable, because you'd take a cold shower before school, and my hair's so long it would be braided, and then you walk out into like a blizzard to go to school, and I'm pretty sure I caught more than a few colds because of that. And we just didn't have any money. We hardly had enough to get bills met, if that, usually didn't. And we usually relied on donations from the church and from like church friends and the food pantries for being able to have enough food to feed everybody in the family at that time. And we only had one functional vehicle between the whole family, 6 people. It's myself, my parents, and 3 siblings. And that was kind of tough. I wasn't able to do extracurricular activities at school because there was no way to get me home. And I had to sometimes walk, but usually like for work, everybody had to work around each other's work schedules. You'd be waiting for a while because Dad would have to ping pong around town to pick up all the kids from their after school jobs, you know? So it was hard, and I had just graduated high school. I still didn't have a car. I had just gotten my license. What was the point of getting my license sooner than that when I knew I wouldn't have a car? And my uncle passed away, and they gave me his car. and it changed my life. It changed my entire family's life, because having that vehicle meant that I could get a new job. And I did. I got a new job at Walmart, actually, and they paid really well. They paid $10 an hour. That's a lot. In Missouri, the minimum wage is $7.10 or $7.45 or something ridiculously low like that. And they paid $10 an hour at the local Walmart, and it was just like 2 or 3 miles further than we had normally been driving, and I was able to drive myself to work. And it changed my whole family's life, because suddenly we had this new influx of income just from that tiny little part-time job, just from that extra few miles that I could go now that I had a car. It changed everything. And then later on, it made it so I was able to move to Kansas City and become a nanny. And then it made it so I could go to school, because I could drive myself to campus, which was 2 hours away, mind you. And I'm not joking. Like, I would usually spend about 3 hours on the road. Well, 2 hours is probably a little excessive. Basically, I would spend about 2 to 3 hours on the road just driving from like where I lived in Kansas City to campus to my jobs, because I had multiple jobs at the time. And but the point is, I drove. I was able to do all of those things because I had the car. So without the car, none of that would have been possible. I wouldn't have been able to come out here, and I wouldn't be where I'm at. And it changed my life, because my family just donated to me that car. And so now that I realize I don't need it anymore, and I babbled way too long, I'll try to get better at being like succinct in these vlogs, but I just really wanted to tell that story because now I realize I don't need it anymore. And it's still a functional, pretty good vehicle. I'm donating it. And some of my family was like, why don't you sell it? And I'm like, from what? Like, it's old, and yeah, it'd be nice to have that money to put into emergency savings fund or to use to pay off some of my student loans. But I don't think, even if it was like $2,000, which I think it would only sell for maybe $600 to $800, if that. And even if it was something really huge, like that much money, I don't think it would make me feel good inside. And this does, because I know how it can be such a small thing to have an old battered car to be able to drive around, and it just cascade changes your entire family's life. So I'm donating my car. And it is a little scary, because it means I will no longer myself own a vehicle, and I won't have it myself. Like, what if Chips and I break up? It could happen. I doubt it will, because flowers, cookies, excitement. But it feels really good to weigh all those risks and to realize that the inconvenience and the risk of having to perhaps suddenly buy a new car is outweighed by the good I hope giving this to somebody else will do. So yeah, there's my little story. I feel better now. I just really needed to vlog about that, because it's a significant gift that someone gave me, and it just felt wrong to have this day come and go without trying to tell that story and explain the way it can change someone's life. Because maybe you'll be in my position one day and you'll be able to do the same thing. Maybe you need a car, and this might help you reach out to some of the programs, because I'm donating it to a nonprofit, and I was really surprised. There's a ton of nonprofits who help out, and they're really cool because they're coming to pick it up for me, so that's really awesome. But anyway, I'm babbling too much. I need to go. I need to see if I can record zoo crafting in time. I need to get ready for the people to come and pick my car up. I need to make sure I got everything out of it. I think there's a couple books in the trunk. And yeah, just have an amazing day. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and thank you for listening to my story. So I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right. Bye, car. Go change someone else's life, and I hope you do as good a job as you did for me. So thank you so much. Wow. Bye. Okay, and they just came and they picked it up, and they were really, really nice older gentlemen. You could tell they were both like mechanics, which is totally cool because my dad's a mechanic, so I have a soft spot for like older guys who are mechanics, because it's like, oh, you remind me of my daddy. But I feel so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. I just handed my keys and my title that was signed and all the legal stuff was done over to these gentlemen, and they're gonna drive off with my car and hopefully change someone's life with it. And that's kind of like, wow. I can't believe I did that. And it was totally worth it. So if you guys are ever in a position to do something big like that, do it. I don't think I'm gonna regret it. It's surreal because it's kind of like, oh, I remember all the memories of when I drove that car hither and thither and was helping people out and like visiting my friends, and it's just like, it's a car. It's a functional machine, and I don't need to keep it around and have to pay property taxes on something I haven't driven for like, it feels like months. So yeah, okay, so one big thing down for the day, and next thing is actually going to be welcoming Chips home, and I'm really excited about that, and that should be really fun, and I'm gonna see if I can knock out at least one zoo crafting before he walks in the door, so yay!